Welcome to the Slow Knitter, episode 12. And the title of this episode is Socks, Shawls, and Yarn. Oh my. Holy crap, I've missed you guys. Last time I podcast, I was at the beach, on the deck at the beach house. But now I'm here with you. I have a lot to tell you. First of all, let's get some administrative things out of the way. I am Rena. I am the Slow Knitter. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I can be found on Instagram, on YouTube, and on Facebook as the Slow Knitter. On Ravelry, I have the Slow Knitter podcast group, and I am known as Rena Lydia on Ravelry. And I have the slowknitter.com website, and I'm just sort of populating it with, what I have on the needles and what I'm cooking these days, because I am an avid cook. I had to fix my hair. And just some musings, which I really haven't done yet, which are really sort of blog posts, which I have a lot to write about, and it's all about knitting and podcasting, because I'm having a little bit of a moment with this community, because I love this community so much. I'm also having a giveaway. Let me start with my giveaway, which is a skein of Apple Knits yarn, which is a gradient. So go to my Instagram post, and you'll see what you have to do for that. Tag a couple of knitty friends and follow me and repost if you want to. It's also, the details of the giveaway are on my Ravelry Slow Knitter podcast group. So I sort of ask you what you're going to do with this yarn. By the way, the yarn is super yummy. Super yummy. All right, I wasn't going to show it. I'm not going to show it. You can see it on the in the picture on Instagram, and you can see it on my Ravelry page. But it's 560 yards. It's a gradient. It looks like a piece of fruit. It's gorgeous. I have so many things on the needle. It needs to go to somebody who will make something right now, because it is beautiful. Apple Tree Knits is the yarn, and there are a lot of pattern ideas that she gives on her website. She does gradients and she does other things, but it's pretty beautiful. And it's 100% superwash merino. It's beautiful fingering weight. So check that out and follow the prompts and enter to win. Yay! Enter to. And I'll choose a winner Monday, May 15th, by random number generator. And I'm getting good response from this. So join it. It is a 4-part giveaway. You get the yarn. You get a little leather wrist ruler, which is really super nice. And then you also get, a big gauge measurement tool from Twig and Horn, which is Hannah Fettig's company, it's pretty nice gauge measurement tool. It's got some measurement for needles and millimeters, and US. Anyway, and then also, just some note cards from Susan B. Anderson's Barrett Wool Company. Just some cute little knit. It's a 4 things. So, enter. Yay. Okay, let's get to it, because we got a lot to go over. I am the Slow Knitter. For those of you who don't know me, if this is your first time here, please enjoy it and subscribe. And for those of you who have come back and reviewed me again, thank you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thank you. I really am having a ball with this podcasting. I love it. So we're gonna go right into it. I am slow because, in my case, I have pretty severe active tendonitis, which happens to my neck, my shoulder, my arms. And so as a result, it takes me a very long time to finish anything, like a really long time. But slow doesn't mean just because you're injured like me. Slow can mean family obligations. You are just slow. You have too many things in the needle. There's just lots of reasons to be slow. So like a slow movement. It isn't the slow movement. It's like, we're slow. We're just slow. But I just love the whole craft. So to me, if it takes me a couple of years to finish something, it takes me a couple of years to finish it. But I'm always so curious about starting things new. I knew that I love very specific designers, big fan of indie dyed yarns. For those who have been around and those who are new, I'm sort of collecting and curating indie dyed yarns, and I know I have not even scratched the surface of the indie dyers that I'm collecting right now. So I just hope to keep broadening that and actually using the yarn. How about that? All right, let's talk. This low knitter has two, count them, two FOs. Unheard of. Remarkable. Write this date down in history. Both of them are socks, and I'm new to sock knitting. And I started sock knitting in January and had moderate success. I'm very challenged in the heel and gusset area. So I happened on Mina Phillips, Mina Phillips, who's knitting expat, and she has a vanilla sock pattern which has a German short row. When you decrease for the heel, it has German short rows. Well, I know German short rows and I'm a fan of German short rows, so I thought, okay, I'm gonna get that. So the first sock I made with her vanilla sock pattern. Since then, she started the New York Sock Collection Club or something in March of this year. Yes. And I've been trying to keep up. I'm not keeping up right now, but I'm trying. She's going to release 7 patterns, and I think it ends in October or November, and then she'll release all of them. But she's only releasing those who are members of the sock club. Anyway, this is my first pair. This is the Grand Central sock. It's made with one of my indie dyers that I follow and am very fond of, Ross Nutter for Dye for Knitting. It's really a wonderful yarn. Now, this was my first complete pair of socks. So, blocked and everything. I do my socks, by the way, figured it out finally, that I do it on size 1, 2.25 millimeter, and I do them tandem. So 6 rows on one needle, 6 rows on another, 10 rows, so that they both come up around the same time. Now, this sock, the German short row heel, was a German short row heel. I did not do a good job on this. I just didn't. It's so holy. I mean, I can sit there and, you know, just fix it, which I will. But, and I did them cuff down. Okay? All right. Fast forward to my recent pair. The second sock in the club series, New York Sock Club Collection series, is the Avenues sock. It's a slip stitch pattern, and I decided, I'm still doing them tandem, but I'm going to do them toe up. So I purchased a class on Craftsy led by Susan B. Anderson, and it's called My First Toe Up Sock with the Afterthought Heel. And for those of you who are experienced sock knitters, the Afterthought, you like it or don't like it. A lot of people like the fish lips kiss heel. I don't think that's, I'll attempt that one day. I'm getting more confidence in heels, but I did do following lesson by lesson. I did the Susan B. Anderson, My First Toe Up Sock class on Craftsy, and I do them on size 1, as I mentioned, but I also do the magic loop, okay? 2 different needles, both coming up at the same time. Ta-da! I did contrasting toe and cuff. The pattern is a slip stitch pattern. It is really, let me turn it this way. You can see the slip stitch is better this way. It's a great pattern. I use Mustache Sheep self-striping yarn for the body of the sock, and I used Lolo Did It Leprechaun Mini from her St. Patrick's day mini skein set. I have to tell you, first of all, hey, the sock fits me better. I did the measurement, I did everything. The sock fits me better, and I think it's because it's a little bit of a pointier toe than the rounded toe that I did on the cup down sock. I measured, I did everything. The afterthought heel, while the very thought of the afterthought heel scared me to death, I really took to it. I got it, and again, that lesson, that class is so great. She walks you through every step. You have no fear. And throughout it, she says, don't worry, it'll be okay. Trust me, it'll be fine. And she's right. And she's a very patient, kind teacher. And I'll tell you what, we have it at home. They don't match. It's supposed to match. The stripes are supposed to match. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I'm excited. And I'm going to cast on the next pair, which is the Union Square pattern, the New York Sock Club. And I'm using Jinx, Laura from Jinx Yarn, another indie dyer. She's like dyeing guru, and she does self-striping. So, when this pattern, the new one, the Union Square pattern was released, Mina said it would be great with self-striping, and that was one of the self-striping yarns I had in my stash. So I thought, oh, I'm going to use it. And then somebody else, Sharon from Knit Style, who had the same skein, who showed the same skein in her recent podcast, said that she, and Sharon is a dyer, she said, you know, Laura is like queen of this kind of stuff. So I was really thrilled. I was so thrilled. Yay! So anyway, 2 FOs, socks. That's the sock part of this episode. Shawls. All right. I'm not going to pull it out. I've already shared this with you. This is my story of my Melanie Berg on the Spice Market shawl. Now, I am a huge Melanie Berg fan. The first Melanie Berg design I worked on was Drachenfels, which is beautiful. It was my first real color work project. I loved it. I love that shawl. I really labored over the color combinations. I picked the right color combinations. I love it. So I dove in to the next Melanie Berg pattern, which is on the Spice Market. That shawl, and now I've tendonized, so depending on how I hold the needles and all this, that shawl is a difficult stitch, which just goes on for a very long time, which really caused me a lot of discomfort, and I'd have to put it down for weeks at a time. It's taking forever to finish that shawl. So much so that I don't have that much left. I really, really don't. I dread working on that. And I think when you get to that point, you need to bind the sucker off. Bind it off. I mean, it's big. It's huge. I'm small. So I could bind it off right now, and it would be like, it would be huge. So I was lying awake last night. This is what happens with knitting, right? You lie awake at night thinking, how am I going to solve that problem? Well, here's how I'm going to solve that problem. I'm just going to reduce the number of repeats for 3 more colors. Just reduce them and just have like light striping at the end that mimics the colors that it starts with, and bind it off. I dread working on that. And that's no fun. That's just no fun to dread working on something. So that's my solution for that one. And that will, I don't know when I'm going to do it, but I'm going to finish it. Now, the Janina Callio shawl I'm working on with Woolen Vine, 2 skeins of Woolen Vine yarn. It's really coming out well. I think I have 28 rows to go. That is not a difficult knit. It isn't taxing me. It's just, I just need to just plow through it and bind it off. It's going to be gorgeous. I'm very, very excited about that shawl. So that's part 2 of my shawls. Oh, but there's more. I'm going to reach back and get. Many of you who watch the Periscoping Sisters with me, because I love Debbie and Amy, Debbie has a new design out called A Mother's Heart, and I imagine she designed that for tomorrow's Mother's Day. By the way, if you see this tomorrow or the day after, have a great Mother's Day. I hope you had a great Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. I'm a doggy mother, so I'm excited about Mother's Day. That might give me a bone. No. But I love Mother's Day. My sister's a great mom. My mother, we lost my mother about 13 or 14 years ago. I miss her every single day. But I will say that I know she's smiling at me because she taught me how to knit. And I know she's like, finally, she's doing something with that. So anyway, so Debbie Reese designed this really beautiful pattern called A Mother's Heart. And I've been looking for a great shawl pattern for this one yarn that I have that I bought from another indie dyer, Lauren from Old Rusted Chair. And I bought this yarn from her a few months ago, and it's called A Kind of Magic. And it is a gray yarn, and you can see it. I think you can see it. Whoops. Boom. On the floor it went. It's beautiful. It's gray with speckles of different colors. I'm going to go get it. No, I'll show it to you. Anyway, this mystery knit along that Debbie has. I'm still on the first clue because I'm not trying to keep up with the clue. I just love the pattern. So you can see that this yarn and this pattern are meant for each other. First of all, it's this wonderful eyelet pattern, and you can see how the yarn just knits up beautifully in this. And you can see the colors of the yarn, the speckles in here are phenomenal. And so I'm close to finishing clue 1. Clue 2 goes into a whole other different kind of stitch pattern, which I'm excited about because I think this yarn will work really well with that. So I'm excited about it. It's a 1 skein yarn shawl, which is perfect for me for my hand issues. So I'm really excited, and I love this pattern so much so I just want to knit on it all the time. But anyway, yeah, I'm excited about finishing that. It is being held, by the way, in Amy's husband, Ronnie, is, I don't know, trying some project bag making, and he made this project bag. Wait, can you see that? Showing up? Yeah. I love this project bag. And he's got magnets for closing, so you don't have, the yarn won't get snagged in zippers. Do you hear that? Magnet? It's great. I like the pattern of the fabric. And then it's got a great bucket, so you can just fold it down and it just sits up. It's perfect. It's perfect. Good job. I really, really love it. So that's that. So that's holding Debbie's design, A Mother's Heart. Keeping it in the family. Ronnie makes the bags. Debbie designs. And, oh, by the way, Amy is apparently, sorry Amy, I hope I'm not offending you. She's sticking her toe into the dye pots. And she threw in a little mini skein for me. I mean, she's doing this, if for anybody that orders Ronnie's bag, she's throwing in a little yarny thing. And by the way, I love these colors. So I'm going to put this, oh, it's so soft. I'm going to put this in my memory blanket. It's a big enough skein. I'm digging it. It's fingering. It's probably 100% superwash. I don't know. But it's really neat. Thank you, Amy, for this. So, got the periscoping sisters all worked out. And the husband who makes the bags. Yay! That's that. I threw it down with the yarn because the yarn fell. All right, so that's shawl number 1. Shawl number 2. I purchased Helen Stewart's Shawl Society 2. I wasn't into this community when Shawl Society 1 came out. I did, when Helen came out with that big shawl that she just did a mystery knit along for, I tried to participate in that, but I sort of fouled up the lace section and I couldn't get myself out of it. And I wasn't totally crazy about the yarns that I chose, so I frogged the whole thing. Well, I've been watching everybody else's everybody that's made one, and by the way, every one of you that I've seen that has made it, it's gorgeous. I mean, what is it like? I think you have to get at the end. There's like 520 or something stitches. No, not for me. Can't do it. Anyway, but Helen came out with the Shawl Society too. So the first release is called the Fairy Hill Shawl, and it's sized in small, medium, large. And because I am troubled by long, endless rows, I went with the small, which is one skein. So I started it. It's teeny tiny, but I started it because who doesn't love a good Helen Stewart shawl? And I'm using Madeline Toss Twist Light. And I will tell you, I've never worked on this yarn before, and I love it. I do. It's it's really sort of a light blue with gray in it. When Tracy at Eat Sleep Knit said, "What are you going to work on with that?" And I said, "A Helen Stewart shawl." She said, "Oh, that's perfect. That's a Helen Stewart. That's so Helen Stewart." It is. It's sort of very, very feminine, and the yarn colorway is Fallen Cloud. And it's, you know, I like everything about Helen Stewart. So here's I don't know if you can see how it's coming together. But this starts out very similar to that mystery knit along shawl that she did. The name of the shawl just fell out of my head. It's too much in my head. Anyway, so yeah, hey. I'm gonna go slow. I'm gonna take my time with this. Typical Helen Stewart instructions, which are extremely well written out. Percentage of yarns, line by line by line. And I have to say that, you know, for those of you who've worked on Helen's before, you can see how she writes her patterns out. And this is the picture of the pattern that I'm making. And she's wearing the small size. So that's, you know what, that size is perfect. Perfect. So, and it is being held in this new project bag that I got from Mid-Mitten Designs. I know you've seen this pattern. We've seen this fabric before. It's so fun. It's so fun. And it's sort of a mid-sized bag, so it's perfect for this shawl. And in it, and you can see in it, she gives you these little cards that you can include with the stuff that you're knitting. Hold on, I have to reset the camera. There we go. Can you see that? Isn't that cute? And then, you know, care instructions are inside for it. So cute. And then you can write, you know, with love from the Slow Knitter. But it's a whole pack of them that she gives you with this. And I think it was her who threw in the chocolates. Oh, no, no. I have another project bag to show you. Yes. Well, I have a lot of projects. I don't have a lot of bags. I don't have the bags. There's no excuse. I'm just attracted to these things. and I have no restraint. No restraint, woman. Yeah. So that's the shawl part of socks, shawls, and yarn. Oh my. Okay. Oh, I want to show you one other thing. One other project bag that I got. This is holding my yarns for the Hohi mystery knit along, for that long kind of rectangular 5 yarn shawl thing. But this bag is from Emerald Fibers. Can you see it? Emerald Fibers. It sort of reminds me of what I've seen from many of you that have fringe supply bags. I don't have a fringe supply bag. I think I'd rather spend my money on yarn right now. But it's very canvasy. It's got a grate inside, you know, like, great job. Really great job on this. So I like it. And right now it's just holding all my yarns for the Hohi upcoming mystery shawl thing. Yeah, I'm excited about that. All right, now I'm going to step away. I'm going to reset the camera because I have a limit on it, and then I will start it. Okay, back. This is the yarn segment. Okay, so I'm still shopping. I'm also slowly working my way through using them. But don't forget, for those of you who are new, and I'll remind those of you that have been around, is that I'm collecting and curating indie dyed yarns. Some of them I'll use, and some of them I'll just have to look at all the time. But I really a big fan of indie dyers and are going out of my way to support them because the work is just pretty special to me. It is. So I'm just collecting it, and I won't show you everything at one time because it would be a little overwhelming. The whole podcast could be about yarn. That's boring. You need to like mix it up. FOs, whips, chatter, you know, the usual combination that makes a good podcast. I hope this is good. It's good for me. Anyway, when I was at the beach, and that's where I podcast from last, was the deck at the beach house. I talked about buying a skein of vocabulary yarns, and I didn't have it with me, but I wanted to pull it out and I wanted to show it to you because it is bronze, and I think the colorway is Littoral, Littoral, and I mean, if you can see it, it's sort of bronzy and silver and some speckles, and this is their label, Vocabulary Yarns. Get out of the way. Yeah. And I think it's 75-25 superwash and nylon, superwash merino and nylon. This is definitely going to be a pair of socks. Probably maybe the next Mina Phillips one. So I wanted to show you that because I just am so in love with this color. This combination of color. I think it'd be a beautiful sock. Vocabulary yarns. Whoopsie. Then I bought some more Wool and Vine because, as you know, Wool and Vine is not an easy yarn to get. This is in her Footsie base, which is 100% blue face Leicester and nylon. It's 80% superwash blue face Leicester, 20% nylon. This one is the Venus Flytrap colorway, and this one is Angry Orchard. And I think I'm going to contact Kristen to see if I can get an additional 4 or 5 skeins of Angry Orchard because I think I might want to make a cardigan. I really love it. This color for spring, summer, to have a cardigan for next spring. Certainly not this spring or summer, but you know, I'd want to find the right one, but I really do love, love, love this colorway. And it's really interesting to me, not being a dyer, how different colorways look on different bases. No surprise. But I'm using the Blitz base for part of my Janina Callio shawl, a Venus flytrap, which is this beautiful green color. And it's very different looking. To me, it's very different looking. And I love this. And for the Mina Phillips Sock Club, one of the yarns that's recommended is the Vine yarn. Once Upon a Corgi is recommended, Primrose is recommended, Vine is recommended, and a couple others. Anyway, so, and I've got, I think this is my 6th or 7th skein of Vine. So I'm a big fan, big fan. Okay. I'm just going to show you 2 more skeins because, you know, I'm saving the others for next podcast because it's just too much. It's just, you know, I went a little overboard. A little bit. One of my favorite dyers, and I showed you the Kind of Magic that I'm using for the Debbie Reese A Mother's Heart shawl from Lauren of Old Rusted Chair. Well, she posted this on Instagram, and I thought, oh, yes, that's mine. Look at this. First of all, that's her label. Old Rusted Chair. She's now in Nashville. She was in Sacramento, California, but she moved to Nashville. And this is called Champions of Red Wine. I don't really have this colorway at all in my stash. And I can see blending this with, oh God, any number of things, or by itself. So I couldn't resist. I think this is my 4th or 5th skein from Lauren of Old Rusted Chair. I love her work. So, all right, I have a funny story. So when I was at the Destin Yarn shop down near the beach house, when I was there last month, I ran into a young woman, probably in her mid-20s, late 20s, Catherine is living in Virginia right now, moving back to Atlanta. She's very happy. She is in this, I think she's a pastor, and she'll be working at Emory Hospital in the pastoral care area. I don't know. Anyway, she's lovely. Really, I want to be a friend. I want to be her friend. But while she was at the Destin Yarn shop, she picked up a skein of wool that had something unicorns. And she was like, oh, giddy. And it was really pretty special. So I went home and I looked up the yarn company. And the yarn company has a line of yarns that are named after Game of Thrones characters. It's my face. I am a huge Game of Thrones fan. Love them, love it, can't get enough of it. So, I mean, I've seen it from the first, season. I think the next one's coming out in August. I just love them. So, she's a whole, and I am a fan of one particular character. I hope all of you are also a fan of Jon Snow. Right? How can you not be a fan of Jon Snow? Do you know the actor's like 5'5"? He's not very tall. But look at this. Does this not say Jon Snow all over the place to you? It is pretty gorgeous yarn. I mean, it is. It reminds it, and she has the greatest. Can you see it says Jon Snow? Is that the side? Yeah. It says Jon Snow on top there. Whimsical Wood Yarn Company. This is in her Pixie sock base. And on here it says, No pixies were harmed in the making of this yarn. And it's 75 superwash merino and 25% nylon. And it's squishy, pretty. Check them out, man. I mean, they are Whimsical Wood Yarn Company. And they have really snarky names. And she says that. They're snarky. I mean, they have like a line that's like smart ass, big ass, fat ass. These yarns. And plus they're really, I think a pair of socks. What do you think? I'm thinking. So those are some of the yarns. There are more. I'm not even gonna go there yet. All right, now one last thing, and we'll get into some chatter. I mentioned that I was going to attempt a sweater. I think in one of the podcasts I did from the beach, I mentioned that I'm gonna do a Joji Locatelli simple raglan pullover sweater. And I am going to be to the letter, do gauge swatch, and I wanted to share with you the yarn I'm using and the gauge swatch that I did. Hopefully, let's keep our fingers crossed that the gauge swatch, is right on. But you know what? I'm following the proper ways to do gauge swatch, blocking it and all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to show you the yarn, and I'll slip in maybe a picture of the pattern. The yarn is Madeline Tosh DK. Now, I am not a big DK or thicker weight user. Yarn, most of what I work on is fingering or sock. But this colorway, it's called Tart. Can you see it? It is stunning. It's sort of maroonish red with some black undertones. It is like drop mouth. I mean, I can see this with a pair of jeans or black slacks, or, I'd wear it over my pajamas. Anyway, I did the gauge swatch. And I think, I haven't measured it yet, but I followed the directions. I blocked it, I washed it, soaked it, blocked it, and here is the gauge swatch. So you can see how beautiful this yarn knits up. And it's just beautiful in terms of how it knits up. So I'm excited. Variety is the spice of life. So I'm just gonna occasionally do some knitting on sweater, and we'll see how it goes. Again, not used to the heavier yarns, but I'll try it. Can't hurt. So that's my sweater news for you. I think that's it. Just a little chatter. I will have a slide at the end of this that has all of my contact information, but I have to tell you that I went to the Apple store and I did an iMovie tutorial. So you are my guinea pigs for what I learned, what I retained for iMovie. I have no idea if it's going to work. I hope so, and we can all laugh together at the funny videos that I started out with and how bad they were. I'm hoping that each one gets better. I got sound now, better camera. Maybe I can edit, maybe not. We'll see. So you take this journey with me. Anyway, the folks at Apple were pretty cool. The guy who taught the class was okay, but then there was another guy who came and he was pretty fantastic. He really helped me. He helped me a bunch. Anyway, so I'm excited. Just a couple of other things. I met a couple of podcasters from this area, SSK Yarners. And Sharon and Karen, Sherlyn was on vacation. I think Sherlyn's going to take a break from podcasting for a while, but I met Sharon and Karen. And they were there because they do visits to local yarn shops. And they were there to film what Eat Sleep Knit is about, which is a huge warehouse of yarn. You can hand-painted yarn. You won't find any acrylic there at all. And most of their business is mail order. So Karen and Sharon came and we met, and they interviewed me, and they interviewed the people at Eat Sleep Knit, and we got to know each other. While we were there, a woman who runs the Georgia Knitting Guild was there, and I was introduced to her. And then Karen sent me a message yesterday saying that the Georgia Fiber Festival is going to be held in Columbus, Georgia, which is about an hour and a half south of where I am. Columbus, Georgia is not far from Warm Springs, Georgia, where Franklin Delano Roosevelt used to take his vacation, where he actually died. It's literally a stone's throw from Columbus. So there are hot springs down there. It's really it's become a very cool and hip town, but they're having the Georgia Fiber Festival there. And Karen talked to the woman who runs the Georgia Knitting Guild, and we're going to have a podcast meetup. So a bunch of podcasters from the local area, and it could be outside of Georgia as well, are going to meet at the Georgia Fiber Festival. So a week from, next Friday, I am going to meet Jade from So Perfect Pearls at Eat Sleep Knit. She couldn't make it when we were there at Eat Sleep Knit. And I'm going to convince her to join us in this meetup. I'm so excited. I've come across a couple of podcasts that are new to me. They're not new. They've been around a while. Margaret Olander from this area as well, from the Atlanta area, has sheepishly sharing, get it? Sharing? Sheepishly sharing podcast, and she sews, she's a sewist, and she's very talented. I've also happened on Lucky Jenny Knits out of Virginia. Very good. She had just finished a big Stephen West shawl and showed it, and it was like, oh, I want to do that so badly. I have other priorities right now. And then also Sharon from Knit Style. And Sharon does her podcast with her husband, Rich. They are a hoot together. They are just a hoot. They don't live, they live in upstate New York, Wappinger Falls, I think, which isn't too far from Rhinebeck. And Sharon is a new dyer. I think she's been dyeing for a little less than a year. I mean, fabulous yarns. And she's an uber talented knitter. I'm not saying just talented for the sake of saying talented. I think she's gifted. Seriously. I mean, she's won, come in first place at Rhinebeck when she's entered things. I mean, I think she's just a gifted knitter. And love watching her podcast. And love her husband, Rich. It's just entertaining beyond entertaining. I don't think my husband would ever podcast with me. I don't think I want him to, but I don't think he would. I will still have the occasional guest on. I'm trying to work out those details. Anyway, so those are some new, to me, podcasts. I hope that you are also watching them. And I think that's it for today. I will be back in a couple of weeks. I don't know, from here or from the beach. I don't know. We're going to go down to the beach. Probably before Memorial Day. So I'll probably do one more podcast from here and then the next couple from the beach. Because I think we're going to stay down there for another few weeks. And then come home and then go up to Newport, Rhode Island. My nephew's getting married. Hey, Greggy's getting married to Erica. That's sweet. Anyway, love you. Thanks for stopping by. And if you're a new subscriber, a new viewer, please subscribe. And thank you to my loyal subscribers for coming back. And then that's it. I'm out. Let me know how you like my editing. It'll get better. All right. Love you all. Thank you for coming by and seeing me. Bye.